The US president finally decided to go and visit Fort Knox. Fort Knox is USA's gold reserve. Firstly, what is Fort Knox?
Now, Fort Knox is United States Bullion Depository.
Okay.
That is the place where large deposits of US official gold reserves is kept. That is also the place where you can find over 400 tons of gold being kept. Okay. So the current US administration decided to go check, audit, and see whether this gold is still there. Okay. But remember, that place, it is not easy to go there, whether how powerful you are or immortal.
Yes! Isn't Fort Knox part of the top 3 most guarded places on earth?
Of course, yes. Now, today, I am going to give you 10 facts about Fort Knox.
Number 1.
Number 1 is that Fort Knox holds tons and tons of gold, literally. Yes! It has 143.7 million ounces of gold, which is having a value of 62.2 billion US dollars. And that amount shot up to 273 billion US dollars based on the current gold market. That place also has thousands and thousands of gold bars. Each gold bar having 12.5 kilograms. Also, that place has millions of gold coins.
I remember at one time, the gold was kept to provide backing for the dollar currency. However, the dollar was removed from the gold standard.
Yeah, you are right.
Number 2.
Number 2 is that nobody on this earth knows whether it is true that gold is there or not. And according to conspiracy theorists, is that gold was swept off that place long time ago and instead replaced by tungsten bricks, in which they painted those bricks to look like the gold bars.
Yes, because over the years, no one has been there to audit or test that gold. Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is that it is not easy or never possible to be allowed to enter into Fort Knox, especially when you are an outsider. It is only in 2017 when US Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and also the leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, were allowed to enter into that fort, in which after they confirmed that the gold was actually safe. Yes! The another time a civilian was allowed to enter there was 40 years behind before 2017.
Yes, it was a director of the US Mint, Mary Brooks, who entered there to keep off rumors that the gold wasn't there.
Of course.
Number 4.
Number 4 is that it is only one US president who has ever been allowed to set foot inside Fort Knox, and that is none other than Franklin Roosevelt. Yes! This president first commissioned the construction of Fort Knox in 1930s. So in 1943, 7 years after its full construction, he became the first American president to ever set foot in the titanic walls of Fort Knox.
Yes, but he only entered to make inspection after the construction. Number 5.
Number 5 is that Fort Knox was built in an insane manner. Yes! Fort Knox contains 4,200 cubic yards of concrete, 16,000 cubic feet of granite, 750 tons of reinforced steel, and 670 tons of structural steel. You get? The cost of construction of that place in 1930 was around 560,000 US dollars. Yes! That cost right now is around 9.4 million US dollars. Insane. Continue. So the roof is bomb-proof and the main vault door weighs around 20 tons and 21 inches thick. No one person knows the entire combination of the vault. And the door is resistant to torches, drills, and explosives.
In the first place, for any intruder to enter that place is a big dream and impossible.
Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6 is that Fort Knox is guarded by members of the US Mint Police, one of the oldest federal law enforcement agencies. It was established in 1792. And remember, the officers undergo 12 weeks basic training, followed by 5 weeks of field training. They learn a long list of heavy-duty skills: weapons handling, cornering, door entry, and room clearing. Yes! Most intimidating is that that place sits on 109,000-acre land.
Yes, and the US Army does training on this ground. In fact, all troops in the US do training on this ground. Number 7.
Number 7 is that occasionally the vault at Fort Knox has held other precious items. Yes! Besides the gold which is being held there, in 1933, one of the original copies of the Magna Carta, the medieval English charter, laying down the basic human rights in England, was brought to the US to go on exhibit at the New York World Fair. But when the Second World War erupted, the delicate document had to be taken to Fort Knox for safekeeping.
Yes, the Magna Carta was kept at Fort Knox until 1947 when it was returned to England.
Yes.
Number 8.
Number 8 is that the Second World War turned Fort Knox into a safekeeping place of all sorts of things in and out of USA. Like for example, the original document of the Declaration of Independence in the US was kept there. The Bill of Rights was kept there. And the US Constitution has ever been kept there. All these documents were kept there in fear that the nation's capital would be attacked.
Yes, but the documents were transferred to Washington, D.C. as the war went down in 1944.
Yes.
Number 9.
Number 9 is that Fort Knox has ever kept a crown of the king there safe. The year is 1095 to 1116, when King Coleman of Hungary once declared that the Holy Crown of Hungary, not the king, was the true ruler of the realm. So during the Second World War, that crown was whisked away from the hands of the Soviets and the Nazis. And in 1945, that crown found itself in Austria, whereby it was later handed over to the American forces, who later took it to Fort Knox for safekeeping.
Yes, it stayed in Fort Knox until 1978 when it was returned to Hungary by a delegation.
Yes, and the delegation was led by the Secretary of State by then, Cyrus Vance.
Number 10.
Number 10 is that Fort Knox has been operating as an American medicine cabinet for morphine sulfate, to be exact. So during the Cold War, the US military wanted to be certain that it had healthy supply of certain pain medicines, and that was in case the opium supply got cut off around the world. Yes! So because of that, Fort Knox opened doors to tons and tons of opiums, and by 1993, the government had spent millions in refining the stuff into morphine.
Yes, morphine is still stored alongside the gold in Fort Knox till now.
Yes, now the US president is now going to Fort Knox to audit the amount of gold available into that vault, whether it is there or not. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more information beyond this. Bye-bye.